Alright, you guys, we're gonna be doing like a fall look today. We're gonna be using some new stuff. I have a lot of new stuff that I've accumulated since I have last done any type of video for you guys here on YouTube. Apologies, I've been off my game for quite some time, but we're back. So we're gonna do a fall look. We're actually gonna be playing with some eyeshadow. I do have this one from the Jaclyn Cosmetics line. It's like a shimmer brown kind of shade, so we'll see what we do with that. I'm not really sure on the vision and what I want to do. I do know I want to use some tape, and although we should be using Scotch tape because this part of our eye is very, very fragile, I'm actually using some packing tape, so do not follow me. Get you some Scotch tape, but I apparently don't have that on hand, so I'm just going to use this and make it work. And hopefully it's not too rough on my eye. I'm cutting it down though, because I do not want a big piece of tape on my face. And I'm going to use the side that I did not cut, so the outer parts of it, to kind of create that straight line. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to do like this video, obviously, sit down here and do my makeup with you guys, but I'm also going to do content for LEMON8. You guys are going to get like a behind the scenes, if you will, of how I curate content for there. On the eyeshadow look specifically is what we're going to be focusing on for that. So I do have my camera here. This is the Sony ZV-1, and I have it on this little tripod. You guys have seen this if you've seen my vlogs. This is the tripod that I got, and I have it on its side with the little mount piece here that I also had in one of my vlogs. And I just open her up like this, and I'm going to set her down here for photos, because that's what I do on LEMON8. I do photos. I don't do videos. That's more like a TikTok thing. So we're going to try and do content for that, and also get you guys your content here, and hopefully it won't be too much going on. So let's get into it. Boom. This is just so we can get a nice, crisp, clean eyeshadow line. And then I'm going to prime my lids with some concealer. I'm using the NARS. This is the Soft Matte Concealer in the shade Sucre de Orge. You can use concealer like me, or you can use an actual eyeshadow primer. The preference is yours. And these brushes that I got off of Amazon, I don't even know if I've shared these with you guys or not. I don't think so. But I definitely did post about them on LEMON8. But I really, really like these brushes. They reminded me, just like color and the different brushes in the set, it just gave me the Makeup by Ariel vibes, that collab with Morphe. But those brushes, I'm not going to lie, are pretty pricey for drugstore. However, these were a lot more affordable, and you got both face brushes and eye brushes, and I just have been loving these. So this one is the dual-ended one in the set, which is the only dual-ended brush in that set. Personally, I love it, and it just makes things so much easier. So this one I am using for this step here. I did use it for my brows when I was cleaning up the brows with concealer. And I really like the brush. Like I said, just really nice quality brushes at an affordable price, which we all love. Who doesn't love that? So I will actually have them linked down below. Now that I have the concealer on, I am going to set the lids with some powder. I'm going to use this one from Sephora. This is the Micro Smooth powder. Sometimes I use a pressed powder. Sometimes I use a loose powder. It just depends on how I feel, I guess. And I'm also going to use one of my little new cute little pink puffs that I got off of Amazon, of course, to press that in. And I'm just going to press it onto the eye just to set. So I like this powder because it's more skin-like, like as far as like the shade, instead of like a stark white powder or brightening powder. that we don't necessarily need because we're literally putting eyeshadow on top. So just like that, and then you can just kind of fill your lids and just make sure that it's completely set, and it is. All right, and then as far as the content for Lemonade that I'm doing, like I said, I'm going to capture everything on the Sony, which is right here in the corner of the screen. I tried to get it as much as out of the way as possible, but basically I'm just taking photos, you guys, literally. So I'm just placing this because I want to show the steps. As far as eyeshadow goes, I'm going to be using this one from Pat McGrath Labs. This is like a little cute little mini shadow palette. This is actually the mini eyeshadow palette Sublime Smoke. So you have some nice browns, neutrals. And this right here, although it looks really light on camera, it's actually like a light champagne kind of shimmer. But we won't be using the shimmers. We'll just be focusing on the dark matte shades in here, or matte shades in general, which are 1, 2, and 3. Those are the ones we're going to focus on. So I also have this shadow, as I said before, from Jaclyn Cosmetics in Frozen, and I think it's really pretty. So it just looks like this, and it's like this gold shimmer. Don't mind the fact that I have like 1 nail here and 2 here. I'm in the process of taking them off, but so I have that I do want to use. I don't know how pigmented it is, so we're just gonna go with the flow of things. I do have these brushes, as I said. They're called Jessup is the brand, but comes with some eyeshadow brushes. So we're gonna be using some of these to create our look today, and I'm gonna start with, what should I start with? I think I'm gonna start with the lightest brown shade in the palette, which is this one right here. And I'm going to start packing this on like the outer part. Hold on. So I'm going to grab this brush. They don't have names in particular, the brushes, but any like dense flat brush will do. And I'm going to start to pull another mirror closer because the one I do have is a little distance away. I have a mirror on this too. Didn't even think of that. Okay, I'm going to start here and just pack it. I'm not blending, I'm literally just packing along the line, creating a little bit of a shadow, if you will, or a wing, not a shadow, a wing, and packing it on here. I'm going to take that same brush from before, and I'm going to make sure there's no extra color or shadow on there, and I'm going to go into the second deepest shade, which is more of like a darker brown, but it kind of pulls a little red as well, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Just basically repeat the same step of deepening this outer corner. Now, because I don't really know how pigmented this shimmer is, I'm going to go ahead and apply it in this front part of my lid just to get a feel of what, you know, the pigmentation and everything looks like. So I'm just going to grab another semi-fluffy brush, and I'm going to swirl my brush in the product. I really don't know the best way to use this. It doesn't seem super pigmented, to be honest. Oh, okay. I'm just pressing that on the front part of the lid. Has like a nice gold shimmer to it. I'm pretty sure you can get even better pigment with your finger. Let's see. Look at that. That's with my finger. Oh yeah. You get even more pigment with your finger. Okay. I think this is my first like any product of Jaclyn, besides the lip thing that I used in the past. I don't even know what that thing is, honestly, and I didn't use it all. But it was really good. Not the exfoliator part for the lips, but the gloss. Oh, that gloss was good. I'm going to take the palette again, and I'm going to start with this lighter brown shade that we used in the beginning. And oh, that was my camera. I'm like, what is that noise? I'm going to use the first blending brush that we went in with to take that shadow, and I'm going to buff it in my crease and just kind of blend upwards to kind of give it a little bit of a smoky effect, if you will. And it's best that you, when you're blending into your crease, you don't like stretch your eye. What I mean by that is like, look, don't raise your brows. Just relax your face and blend in the crease so you can make sure that you're blending enough or high enough so that you can see the shadow even when your eyes are like looking forward, if you will. So to deepen things up a little bit, I am going to take that same, is this the brush? I think so. I'm going to take this liner brush and I'm going to go into the dark shade right here that I said I was going to go into. And this is really dark. And I'm going to, again, make that line and wing it out. Actually, I don't think we use this brush, but oh well. I have to say, I think this curly style has been my favorite out of all of the styles that I've worn. I did just apply one short on the outer corner and then two mediums in the middle, and you know, you get what I'm saying. Short, medium, medium is what I have on. Only 3 per lash. Normally I do 4, sometimes I do 3, it just depends, but I really like the look of 3. And I like the look of the style personally. So these are probably my favorite. And I didn't even use any long ones, so just imagine. I like this. Alright, let's move into the base makeup. Like I said, not going to take too long. Going to use some of the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base just to hydrate the skin a little bit. I did do my skincare this morning. I do feel like I did a really good job with my skincare. Not that I need much hydration, but I also really love this as a primer for the skin before makeup application, especially considering the foundation that we're going to go in with today. And yes, we are using a foundation. I wanted to use the foundation that stole my heart last year. I went out and got the correct shade finally because I had the wrong shade. Well, it was the right shade at that time, but I didn't get as tan this summer as I did that summer, so yeah. I went and got a different shade. Plus I threw out the other one because I've had it for too long. So anyway, I have the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I did get ARUBA Medium 6. I have used this once before. We're going to use it again. I haven't used it for YouTube though, in terms of the new shade, but you guys will see. It matches me very well, so I'm just going to apply a little bit. I don't feel like I need too much foundation. Actually, I'm not going to do any on my head and just use on my head, on my forehead. And I'm going to use whatever may potentially be extra and just carry that to the forehead area. I've been applying a little less product up there because I don't feel like I need a whole lot. Also, I have a couple of new brushes. So I have the REFY Duo brush, and I think this is the one that I'm actually going to use for this. Let me just throw that on the floor. So this is what she looks like. I really like a stippling kind of loose brush to blend in foundation. I'm sorry. Can't get my words right clearly. But I'm just going to use like this swirling motion just to apply it, and just look how nice that foundation is. It's just very, very beautiful on the skin, I feel. Lightweight. You guys seen I didn't use too much product, and it gave some nice coverage. This is the side with those dark marks. And just look at this. Just look. This is a little darker than the other ones, but it still has really nice coverage. I mean, I could have used like a little bit of concealer or color corrector right there, but didn't really care to be honest. But you guys can tell it's definitely a better shade for me, considering I didn't put anything on my forehead. It looks all as one, if you will. And then whatever's left, I'll just kind of sweep it across the forehead, but not really. I'm going to try not to be too heavy-handed with the cream bronzer because I do have a new actual powder bronzer that I want to use today that I'm actually really excited to try. So I'm going to try and be as light-handed as possible. So now that we have that, we're going to apply some concealer. I'm going to use the Lancome concealer. I'm using the shade 320. It is a bit brighter, which is kind of what I want. And I've started to just kind of like place my concealer like this, right here, and then a little here, same thing. And we cannot forget about the center of the nose, so just a little bit there, and then I'll just blend it down. But that's all the concealer I'm gonna put. I did get a concealer brush as well from Flower. This is what it looks like. So I'm gonna see if I can make things work with this brush as far as like blending things out, but typically I would use my puff or a sponge. I do have, sorry, let me pull this out. So this is what she looks like. I do have a Real Techniques sponge slash puff duo, but I might save that for another video too, because I want to see how it does as far as like foundation and all that, and I really want to use brushes for this look today because I haven't used like a full face of brushes in a long time. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna press it in. Let's see. I like how it's like formed to get like perfectly right underneath this area, which is nice. So we do need a set. I am going to use the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom powder. This has been just non-negotiable in my routine lately. I really enjoy this powder. But before I go in with that, I'm going to use some of the pressed powder from Charlotte Tilbury underneath the eyes first. Alright, so that's all the powder we're going to use. I know I still have a little bit left on the skin, but that's fine. I'm going to go in with the bronzer. The bronzer that I'm going to be using is from HAUS Labs. This is my first product from that line, although I did buy my second product the other day. This is the bronzer I have. Very beautiful packaging. This is in deep level 9, so number 9 I guess, and I was debating between a couple of different shades on which one I should actually get for my bronzer, and just kind of settled on this one. And I'm going to use this brush from the Jessup line to apply her. Okay, let's see what she is giving. Ooh. Okay. So far, I think this was a good shade. I've been finding that when I pick out new bronzers, I go a little too warm, and I don't always want a warm tone bronzer. I want something a little bit more cool tone. And yeah, cool is more like a contour, but it's just what I like and what I prefer. And you guys know bronzer, contour, it's all the same to me personally, even though I know there is a difference technically. And we are going to take the lighter brown shade, and we're also going to take the darker one, and we're just going to mix them together and just blend it on the lower lash line. Nothing special, nothing revolutionary, just the same stuff. So I'm going to start with the lighter one first and run that down here. Kind of connect it with that wing that we created. I just feel like no eye look is really complete without adding at least one shadow to your lower lash line. At least on me personally, I just don't feel like things look right without it. It just gives that extra element to the eye look, in my opinion. Now I'm going to go in with the darker shade and run that on the outer half, I guess. To finish things off with a little bit of blush, I'm going to be using this one from, what is the brand? Merit, I believe. Yeah. This is the Merit blush in Terracotta. And I'm just going to use a little bit of this because this is a very much fall shade. And I'm just going to pop this right here on the cheeks. Just for a little bit, not too much. And on the nose. I was going to go in with the pink blush, but then I was like, I want it to get fall, so This is a really, really pretty fall blush. And it's not like super pigmented to where like a little bit goes a long way. This is one of the more like natural kind of blushes, which I like. And then let's take the hair out. Alright, overall, I think we did a really good job. Maybe we should put some gloss on these dry lips. Really, really love this look. I feel like it's nice and airy and breathable and not too much product. And I enjoyed every step of it, honestly. It shocked me. It surprised me. Let me know your thoughts, as always, down in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I will hopefully see each and every one of you in my next upload, whether that be a video, a vlog, whichever one comes first.